I'm alive. So real quick, get this out the way. Obligatory apologies aside for the wait. Welcome back to the series where we break down 3 random horror games to see how disturbing they are and how I will relay the information back to you based on the gameplay of my experience. In today's lineup, we have Lily's Little Barnyard, Manhunt 2, and Sally Face. Quick disclaimer on these games. These games are heavy with their subject matter. This is your one and only warning that it's pretty raw with these games. And if you have any questions you want to leave in the comment section below, you're prone to, mature topics. So if that bothers you, I apologize, but you kind of knew what you're signing up for. Said disturbing videos. But enough of being a passive-aggressive jerk on my end. I'm sorry for the wait again. Please enjoy. So I decided to do Lily's games first for 2 simple reasons. One, I already played the whole game on my channel, so if you want to experience the game without playing it yourself, go rewatch my playthrough. Shameless plug aside. The second reason why I did this is out of the lineup, the gameplay and story are quick and easy to digest, which, maybe not the best choice of words coming up later. Lily's Little Barnyard is very similar to its predecessor, where it's another abandoned Flash game made by now 2 deceased game developers, killed by a deranged stalker. The gameplay is a standard Flash game. Your objective in-game is to help our friend Summer on her barn. The real-life dev of the game, which for clarity's sake, when I say that I mean the dev in the Lily universe in the game, not the actual real dev of the game we're playing on Steam. It's a little meta and confusing, but just follow me. Because spoiler, real life tragedies happen all over this damn game, and you're gonna have to uncover them and learn what happened to these poor girls. So one of these devs, Lily, was friends with the other dev, presumably Summer, who also helped work on these games. Summer instructs our girl Lily to help around the farm by cleaning chicken coops, milking cows, and help control the water pressure. Regular hot girl shit. She also says her family jewels are missing, stop laughing, and she needs our help to locate them. After you complete all your tasks, you go into the other half of the game, and that's the 3D section. These sections, you have extra chores such as feeding the cows, gathering good and bad eggs, watering the garden. So far, normal stuff, right? But we both know that's not gonna last too long. On the second day onwards is when the game goes full postal, it doesn't hold anything back, with lovely visuals such as a hanging body, Granny's last bath, Grandpa's finding resting spot, and the worst one in my opinion, the meat. Yep, Grandma and Summer's in there, being rounded up. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, what do you want me to do? Probably a good time to mention, this was allegedly too graphic for Steam and had to be tamed down a bit. And with the little I just showed and explained to you about what's to come in this game, I can see Steam going, are you sure this isn't like a confession? Because this is some pretty gnarly stuff. But let's explore that aspect actually. From a narrative standpoint, I think the killer, who now has a body count of 6, those being the 2 other devs, Summer's grandparents, Mimi, and her dog. And the methods the killer chose to end his victim is just straight up sadistic. The worst being Grandpa. The killer nailed him down, let him bleed out a bit, and then fed him partially alive to his own pigs. And this is only like day 4 of learning how Grandpa went out. The day after, we see how he gets rid of Granny and Summer. He breaks in their farmhouse, he ends Granny via slash and just lets her bleed out in the tub. And with Summer, he takes his sweet time beating her, putting her in a garbage bag, branding her in the back of their own facility with a hot iron, and then finally he drains her alive. Oh, don't worry, he cleans up after himself, and he throws them both in the said damn meat grinder. So really think about the meat you eat next time, because this is a farm where they process food. This is not just a dairy farm, this is a farm. Another disturbing element of this game, outside of the horrible shit I just put you through, is we see how the killer acts beforehand. The way he stalks his poor family like an animal who hasn't eaten anything in days. His obsession with Summer, like he's done this before with Lily, so it's just genuinely perverted. It just makes your skin burn and itch seeing how he lurks around outside their house and no one ever knew. He always was watching every little tiny detail and movement of them, so he knew the exact moment to strike them and pick them off one by one. Which brings me to the last thing I want to point out before I wrap up this section. The fear of being watched and hunted, especially when you have no idea you're being hunted, is probably the most primal fear this game invokes in you, which is insane because you play as the hunter. But knowing that this could really happen to anybody at any given point is downright horrifying. The amount of times that you can probably go back in my playthrough on this channel of me playing this game and I will hear a bang or a creaking noise and I will turn the fuck around. I was real life scared. Not of the game, because it put in my head like, oh shit, I need to be more cautious of my surroundings. You gotta be careful of those around you. You can't have a routine. You gotta switch it up. You have to be smarter than that, because you never know. Someone out there right now in your city, your town, your neighborhood, or someone in your very family is on somebody else's radar being actively targeted, and you'll never know until it's too late. And to me, that just makes Lily's Little Barnyard all the more disturbing. And I'm not even gonna go into detail about the secret lore about getting the jewels and the full wrap up of it, because the ending is just genuinely insane. It's on my channel. I highly recommend you go rewatch it. Playlist in the bottom. But to end this section, is Lily's Little Barnyard disturbing? Yes, in all shapes or form, this damn game will leave you paranoid. It makes you wary of your surroundings. It's genuinely the scariest thing I've played, and I can't take any much more. On to the next game.
Your family first. I am putting them first. If this all works out, we'll be providing for our great-grandchildren. You support me here.
Project Danny, they're everywhere.
He's right. He's on.
Daddy, what's wrong? Wake up now, Daniel.
I say, wake up!
You ever wanted to like something really bad, but you just couldn't because it failed to meet your expectations and it didn't live up to the hype?
Danny, listen. It's a manhunt, and they won't stop until we're both dead. Come on.
Yeah, so Manhunt 2 is Shocker, the sequel to the first Manhunt. And without overhyping the original, Manhunt was a hard act to follow afterward. Granted, the game did need improvements, but nothing too crazy the sequel couldn't handle, in theory. And Rockstar had one vision with the first, and that vision was how edgy can we make a game and still be good? And thus, here we are today in the modern era where Manhunt 1 is considered an iconic PS2 horror game. And some of you are probably wondering, why am I gushing about the first game when A, I already did a review on it, and B, this section should be talking about the strength of Manhunt 2 and what made it stand out? Well, that's the thing. The one thing that made Manhunt 2 special and had going for it was something the first game already did and slightly better, and that was over-the-top violence. Manhunt 2 isn't scary at all, like not in the slightest. The story, while okay at best, isn't nothing unique. We went from a serial killer who was actively being hunted by an even crazy group of people set up by a bitter dictator. I still make that mistake even in the sequel. Being set up by a bitter director that was cast away from Hollywood. To a spoilers, by the way, a crazy guy was an imaginary and slash other personality murder self. The story just feels very bland, which is kind of crazy to say given how the story flows as you play it. 1 minute you're the main character, Daniel Lamb, a man with no memories of how and when he got to this point in his life of being actively hunted by this very generic ass, shadow government ass, deep state ass, evil organization called The Project. Very original name. I'm going to spend more time on the plot of the game since the gameplay is the same, if not a little bit worse than the original. It's janky in some areas, the AI bug out a lot. Now that could be that my version was messed up, but I did retweak it several times and I still got nothing out of it. So I think Manhunt 2 was just always meant to be jank. Our pro tag here, Danny, right? He starts his journey inside of an asylum, which, as mentioned before, he has no memory being sent there. In fact, Danny has little to no memories about anything. While he's tweaking, his friend Leo tells him, hey man, this is our chance of freedom. We need to escape and get back at those who wronged us. After some questionable choices made by our dynamic duo, they eventually escape the asylum. They make their way towards a familiar place. Like Danny's been there before, which Leo says he has, and they need something in there that will help clear Danny's head so he can focus better. After Danny takes this drug, his thoughts get clear and he starts to understand and recognize Leo more, but he still needs to learn why all of this happened. So Danny boy here goes searching for the truth, and it starts with a woman he knew from his past life. However, Leo is very against this plan, seeing how it puts them both in active danger being caught by the project. Daniel's searches leads him to, for a lack of better words, the Diddy Palace? Yeah, so apparently the guy who runs the project, he lost funding to the government, and his grand scheme to make the money and get test subjects, because he's an evil scientist, is to run a illegal sex dungeon where they kidnap people and they're never seen again to be experimented on. So A for uniqueness, I'll give it that. After Danny finally reaches the woman he needs to talk to, she tells him to get as far away from everyone associated with the project. But once Danny mentions Leo has been helping him, she starts to freak out even more, saying, "You're talking to Leo?" Which raises a few red flags like, what's wrong with Leo over here? Well, we won't know from her since she gets sniped, presumably by the project, for talking to Danny. Danny gets away and decides he won't rest until he learns the truth. Before our lady friend here gets, 360 no-scope, she gives us a key for a safe house above the old cinema in the red light district. And Danny heads straight there for more answer, which, if you haven't noticed by now, most of the game's play boils down to Danny goes to X place, insert reason why, project tries to stop him from learning the truth, Danny learns a little bit of said truth, repeat cycle until you roll credits. But there is some things about the plot I do like. We do get to play as Leo in some missions, so that is pretty cool. And while I'm kind of ragging on the plot for being bland, it is still interesting. Just feels like it's lacking in some areas, and we can blame censorship for that one, in all honesty, because only God in the original team knows what the original plan flow of the game would have been. Because if I haven't said it already, this game got tweaked a couple times just to be released, because this is the only game to get the adult only standard. And fun fact, like mentioned, was Manhunt 1. You can technically in some areas still buy Manhunt 1 through GameStop, but Manhunt 2, you cannot purchase that anywhere. I think you can finesse it in pawn shops, but as for Best Buys, GameStops, Walmart, it was only during that limited release, and then no copies were sold. It was just very hard to come by. It's a collector's item in a game shop. Don't get scammed, but it is a collector's item, so teach their own. I'm gonna cut some of the fat of the game here because, again, it's very repetitive, like really, really repetitive. We get to the point where Danny catches up with the scientist who is heading on the project, so we learn the full truth what happens after they finally capture Danny and sit his ass down and tell him what happened. So the full truth of what happened is Mr. Lamb here also was a second lead scientist on said project. He worked for them. He was one of their best lead scientists for said operation outside of Dr. Pickman. See, the Pickman project was made for the sole purpose of making the perfect assassin. And to achieve this goal, they would use experimental drugs on subjects to induce new deadly personalities in the subject. Therefore, if they were to be interrogated by operatives or anybody in the field, they can switch back to their normal selves and they would have no recollection of what happens. And in case you're wondering, yes, this awfully sounds a lot like the railroad experiment MK. Bro, can I help you?
You can't say that on YouTube. You can't talk about the shadow government and their evil plans.
Why not?
But you're gonna wind up disappearing.
And like, okay, can I say the MK Ultra combo from MKX?
You could try. If that don't work, just let everybody know you're a good swimmer.
Whatever. Back to what I was saying. This is very similar to Mortal Kombat Ultra Combo. Anyways, that was Dr. Pickman's plan, but the government cut funding due to the doctor's inhumane actions and general psychotic behavior regarding human life. But thinking of his family's future and wanting the project to succeed by any means necessary, Daniel offered to be the test subject for trial testing. And to everyone's surprise, it worked. Kind of. See, it malfunctioned during the testing, and it kind of caused Danny to see and talk to his other self, his alter ego. And I already spoiled it before, but if you still haven't got it by this point, Leo is his alter ego. His name goes by Leo Casper. And it was kind of very, very obvious that Leo wasn't physically there or real, because every time another character can see Danny and Leo's in the shot with them, they never acknowledge him. They always talk around him. Because again, was the lady scientist, I can't think of her name, I hate calling her lady scientist, but was the lady scientist, when she said you're talking to Leo, Leo's right there and she doesn't say anything. And every time you play as Leo in the past sections, it's really convenient that Danny is just indisposed or not helping you. And quite honestly, the last example, what makes it super obvious that Leo's not real, in the first game, when you kill somebody, Starkweather will sit there and hype you up and say, that's my boy, what a great kill, because he has access to the camera and he had an earpiece in both Cash's ear and his own ear so they can relay information back and forth. Manhunt 2, Leo just hypes Danny up when he does something. He's like, it need to be done, Danny. Good job, Danny. Like, yeah, kill them all, Danny. Which is standard for the game, but then you ask the question, if I started in the asylum with no gear, and on top of that, I have no money for said gear, how are they communicating as if Leo was in my head? Because he is. But there is one twist that did kind of catch me off guard. While it feels predictable for his type of story, I still didn't expect him to go that route given the subject of the game. That being, while Danny and Leo were going around on their murder spree, as we see in the past, Leo took over Danny's body for a few days, and while doing so was ordered to burn Danny's house so he can't be traced back to the project. And while doing so, Leo, which is just Danny, everybody sees him as Danny, killed his own wife. And in the early missions hit differently now we know that the old house was his own home, but Danny couldn't even remember, but he was there the whole time. And it's really sad. Like, Danny isn't this cold-blooded murderer with, I'll put a pin on that, I'll say that towards the end of the section, but he's not really, at nature, was a cold-blooded murderer. But after the experimental drugs, the loss of his wife, and genuinely having no sense of self anymore, there's not much Danny could do at this point. So he's faced with two options, well, really one option, there's two outcomes. He has to fight Leo in his brain space, which, yeah, if you didn't expect this game to be a weird Inception-esque plot where you have to fight in your brain to get rid of Leo, that's where we go. You have to fight Leo one last time. If you win, Danny gets dropped off after waking up, full set of clothes, a suitcase with a note saying, "Enjoy your new life." He smiles, he walks in the sunset. It's arguably kind of too nice of an ending for what kind of shit he did, because again, Danny willingly worked for the project, and the project, as just established, all the shit they do currently and did in the past were super duper evil. So Danny was just a henchman at best, and sure, he wasn't a murderer before he took the drugs. He still knew the drug was gonna make him into an assassin. So I don't like him getting a good ending. The bad ending I like a little bit more, because Danny low-key don't deserve a good ending, because after what I just said, and as Leo kills him, he screams, "I did it, I killed Danny, I'm gonna kill the project, and I just win," and he just breaks free, and presumably he just plots his next plans. And I know the ending doesn't save this game from mediocrity, but it does at least make it a special little, they tried, they really did. Now, we've made it to the end of this section. Let me ask the question, is Manhunt 2 disturbing? Visually, yes. You see some pretty gnarly kills in this game, which is known for, and you do get kind of uncomfortable with heavy gore, then 100% it's super disturbing. But other than that, genuinely speaking, not really disturbing at all. It's too clanky to get really invested. The story's predictable. It's disturbing how this game had so much writing on it and it just flopped. This game was made with petty spite, and you can really see that. And that's not a good thing. You can see the pettiness, because again, Rockstar was sick of the US government, or government around the world, blaming violence on video games. So they said, okay, let's make the most violent game possible. But by doing so, and then it just sucks, like, I guess you made your point. It's kind of why, which I'm gonna say right now, before I wrap this up, why I'll never do Hatred on this channel, because Hatred just sucks. It's just a kill gore game, and it's boring, and the plot's dumb. And I know some people's like, well, there is no plot. Yeah, I know. I don't want to play that. That's dumb. Like, oh, I hate everybody. I'm gonna kill everybody and blow up the city with a nuclear reactor. Like, okay, cool, bro. That you just want to be edgy. Like, yeah, artistic value, sure, but don't mean I gotta like it. But that, unfortunately, is Manhunt 2, a game that should have been bigger than what it was, but it does live in our hearts for some reasons, good and bad. On to the next game. Oh boy, this game hurts my everything. Okay, so Sally Face, right? This game is amazing, 10 out of 10. This is gonna be my spoiler-free review at this part, and then after this little tangent, it's gonna be complete spoilers, so be fair warned. But spoiler-free version right now, this game is amazing, and you feel everything in between, and you will feel every single emotion on 10. You cannot escape this game. You cannot deny this game's emotional depth, because boy, does it fucking hurt when it hurts. But, and this is a big but, I feel like everybody who enjoys a good story game needs to play this once. I put this up there with like the Walking Dead series, the Telltale one. If you enjoy story-based games, you have to play this. You just have to. But if you can play this game, 10 out of 10. please play it. All I say is make sure you play it on your days off. You're gonna need a minute to sit with everything goes through. That's my spoiler-free one, and here comes the spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so episode 1 of Sally Face, right? Let's it's a slow burn in the beginning. It's very slow, but the setup is already like, oh wow, I feel bad for this kid, Sally. It starts off, we're in a hospital, bandage wrapped in her face. You kind of just wander around a bit. You don't know what's going on. Sal walks around, he's lost, disordinated. He sees messages on the wall saying it's all your fault. You did this. Why did you do this? And we'll put a pin in all what you're seeing here, because this is psychological, but remember what you're hearing and seeing in the beginning. He wanders around a bit, not so much, whoop-de-whoop. He gets to the end of his coma dream fever thing, and you find out his mother is deceased and a dog's involved for some reason. More on that later. And then it flash forwards, your father and you decided to move after mom's passing due to something happening. We don't know what happened, but his mom is no longer with us. So Sally, had to move schools. He didn't like it. He didn't understand the move at first, but he kind of just is numb at the point. I think at this point he's 13, 14, I want to say. And your dad encouraged you once you get there at the new apartment, Addison apartment. He said, hey, go talk to people around here, introduce yourselves to new neighbors. I know the move was a lie. I know you didn't want to move because you want to be closer to your mother. Again, she's deceased. You just get out there, kiddo. And so Sally Face goes to talk to his neighbors individually, one by one. He meets some kooky characters, a little weird. And just so happened, the day of you moving in, a murder happened the day before. And they're investigating that right now at the Addison apartment. So Sally is just seems to be attracted to death. That seems to be a recurring theme with Sal here. You meet people off and on. You meet the owner of the apartment, Addison apartment. He's a quiet little agoraphobic person where he likes to drink his tea and give them to the residents for free at first, but I think later you suggest charge him a quarter. After that, you meet the local janitor. Her name's Lisa. She's like, oh, I have a boy your age. You should go introduce yourself to him. After you introduce yourself to her son name being Larry. Larry's a very chill, laid-back kind of guy. In the metal, likes to paint, just a chill overall dude, He's just a really good guy. He's just a really, really great dude. Says something kind of insensitive, but he's like 15, so he'll let it slide. He's like, dude, what's up with your mask? He's like, it's my face. He's like, sick. And that's that. Larry doesn't care. It's just as simple as that. He's like, that's my face. And from that point on, y'all just kind of click. He's like, wanna listen to metal? And y'all just bang one out. Pause. And after you get done hanging out with Larry, he tells you, yeah, the murder was crazy. I wish we knew what happened. And he's like, dude, I saw what happened. It was our neighbor, Charlie. He did it. And Charlie, after you talk to him before or after this encounter, Charlie is a collector of ponies. And he's a little off, Charlie. Larry said he was there at the time of the murder. He saw all happen, but the cops won't believe him. So you and Larry decided to break in to get the evidence to prove that he did it. Through various shenanigans, we go into Charlie's place, we talk to him, we ask him what happened, he kind of deflects, and then we find out what really happened later, but not right now, but we just need the evidence to prove that he did it. And by doing so, we found out what happened. You get the evidence, which was a blood-stained pony that was her blood, return it to the cops down there. The cops said, thank you for your hard work, Sal, appreciate it, and then he does it. And then Charlie just gets arrested. And that's kind of episode 1. I will say, if I'm speeding through these episode reviews, there is more stuff I'm leaving out. I'm reviewing it as I done it. I can't talk. As I did it. And by doing so, I want your experience to be more authentic. Even if you want to get spoiled and don't care. Because I don't like reviews that don't spoil it. I clicked on the video, dog. I know what I'm getting into. So I assume you're doing that. But again, I'm being nice. And let you know there's still more stuff I'm leaving out on purpose. So go play the game for your damn self. And after we pretty much snitch on Charlie, that is just the end of episode 1. And then we fast forward to episode 2. Episode 2, we start with a flashback, I want to say, or a dream sequence of Sally with his mother at a park or a forest or a picnic. They're at a picnic and he wanders too far off and he hears a dog wolf barking and his mom again is found dead. And then he wakes up and then we for a brief second sees his face without the mask. Very, very intense scene and shows you Sal is psychologically for a lack of better words, fucked up. He's scarred from this event that we don't know what happened. So after this, we have another dream sequence where we talk to a malformed pony that is in the sewers for some reason, but whatever. Sal has nightmares from the pills he has to take. We do the little sewer sequence. After doing the sewer sequence, we see another dream where we're Larry in the incident of the murder, and we see what happened, and he just nutted up and killed the lady from next door for some reason. We don't know why he did it, but he did it. After that, we tell Larry our dream. He's like, you want to see the treehouse in the back? We go to the treehouse in the back that Larry said he built this with his dad, and he opens up by his father. How his father him and his mom were lovey-dovey. There was no arguments, no nothing. And out of the blue, he just vanished, just left, just gone. We do not know why. Larry opens up later again in the same episode where he thinks he's cursed. He accidentally had killed a neighbor, the one who hates us that you meet in the beginning. She never lets you in her room. She despises him because when Larry was a younger kid, he was playing with fireworks and he threw one in her window without really thinking about it, and it killed her pet rabbit. That happened. His dad leaves him, so he thinks he's cursed. He thinks there's a demon in there possessing him or just around him making bad stuff happen. Then Sally said, holy shit, I seen that demon. So now they spend the rest of this episode trying to prove this demon's existence. While Sal does that, he meets his other two friends. He meets Todd, who tells him hey, I can make you a super gear boy where we can talk to the ghost that you so claim to be real. When you finally make the super gear boy, you can go to every room that you can scan to find proof of ghost existence. You see sigils, you see another ghost, and from Act 1, a secret that I left out you can do is you can meet a ghost little girl, and she tells you how she died, and she said most people avoid her when she talks. So Sal was trying to prove to Larry that, hey, I have a ghost friend that you can meet. He says, nah, I don't believe you. And then he finally gets to meet him. He's like, holy shit, that's true. The little girl mentions her dad doesn't like people and mom doesn't talk to her. The dad killed her and the mother, and by doing that, they're stuck in this apartment for some reason. A lot of the ghosts said they can't move on. They can't really leave here. Those who died around here are stuck where they died at. They can't transition to the other side for some reason. They don't know. But we do know she let it slip that her dad and Larry's dad were friends and they were hanging out the time of his murder or disappearance. Is assumed murder, at least from Larry's point, because he just can't accept that his dad just up and left. Larry's pleading with this little girl, do you know what happened to my dad? She's like, sorry, I don't know, because again, she's like 7. From the ghost evidence, from the ghost boy working, and the proof of a red-eyed demon, we set out to destroy it inadvertently. Well, I say we set out to destroy it. We really went to go look for it because Sal went on his own. He found it, which was the father who he had presumably, well, not presumably, you see it. He, oh man, this game's heavy. How do I say it without getting demonetized? He hung out in this room for a long time. And by him hanging out a lot in that room, he just stayed there with his ghost. Sally sees it, and then he was possessed by the red demon. Before they can get to Sal, Larry snuck back in that very room with a new device Todd had that can destroy the ghost, which, redoing this review, there's a lot of hints to things, and that's really, really, really funny. After they defeat the ghost, Sally said, yo, dude, Larry, thank you. You saved my ass. I can't thank you enough. And Larry kind of melancholy like, yeah, that's cool. I'm glad you're safe, man. And he's like, well, why do you seem upset? He goes, well, I figured we saw the ghost, someone knew my dad, and we saw the demon, but he never showed up here. So I guess that means my dad really just left. And before he can really say it, he starts to cry a lot, and Sally just stood there quietly and hugged him, which show you that at this point, Sally and Larry are thick as thieves, best friends, soul brothers. Like, they tight. They're omega tight. You're not breaking that bond. Nothing is breaking that bond. Now, something I failed to mention that we see in episode 1 and 2, we go to the current timeline of what's happening, because Sally is telling us what's happening in episode 1, 2, 3, and then 4. What's happening in those episodes is in the past, and currently Sal is a death row inmate talking to a therapist before his execution day. And he's pleading with the therapist that he's telling the truth. That's a common theme in these episodes, that everything that goes through Sally, he doesn't believe him. So by the episode 2, the second time we see him, he's like, please just go to the treehouse. I need you to go to the treehouse and see what I'm talking about. You will see everything you needed to see. And the therapist, for some reason, for it to be the only good in that town, more on that later, he decides to hear Sal out and go all the way back to Addison Ray. We see it's abandoned and destroyed and just left to rot. He goes through, he walks to the back, he sees the old treehouse, he climbs it. He's like, these paintings must belong to Larry. These were Larry's stuff. And he talks in the past tense and you don't know why. And then we know exactly why more shortly after. Doctor, before he leaves, a ghost shows up and it's fucking Larry. At this current point in time, Larry is deceased. Now, my reaction, I think it got uploaded to YouTube before the review. I was very upset. Really miss. And I was very hurt by this. I was equally hurt by what happens next. You would think after seeing the proof of a ghost that Sally's innocence can be proved because he's accused of murder of a family and we don't know what family he could possibly have killed. So Larry, being a fucking ghost, gave him a heart attack and he fell out of the treehouse and died. They accused Sally, somehow in prison, that he killed that therapist too, even though he's fucking locked up. And that's how episode 2 ends. It's looking very, very grim for Sal. It's only episode 2 and Sal lost a mother, his new best friend. He's in a new location he doesn't want to be in. His first day there, a motherfucker got murdered. Sal's life has been nothing but pain. And this, again, episode 2, you're not ready for 3 and 4. Oh, no. Episode 3 starts as another current timeline intro where we see him being interviewed by a news reporter. The very news reporter lets you know, hey, you have maybe like 10, 12 hours before your big court date. If you want to say anything else to people, Sal, defeated, depressed, just absolutely just done with shit. He's like, it doesn't matter, you're not gonna believe me and you're probably gonna chop it up anyway. Then the reporter goes, well, let's not be too hasty. If you tell us one more fantastic story, we'll tell you what happened to Todd. Now something's wrong with Todd. That's the third friend gone. Like anything involved with Sally just goes to shit. And Sal thinks about it, he ponders, and he goes, fine, I'll tell you everything you want to do. We're going to ask you our most polled question, and this is where the game shows its comedic side a little bit, in my opinion. This game's very unironically funny in areas. The reporter goes, okay, let me ask this question. Is it true that you have special lunch privileges because you're afraid of lunch meat? And Sal goes, I'm not afraid of lunch meat, guys. I mean, I'm not afraid of bologna. It's a long story. He's like, well, you got time. And he goes, fine, I'll tell you. Also, every episode has a splash card, the name of an episode, and episode 3 is aptly called The Bologna Incident. The Bologna Incident episode is, in my opinion, my favorite because it's not the most emotionally taxing. It's just a lot's going on, like what the fuck is going on? Just a lot's happening all at once. So after that, we go back into the past where we're at school. And we see the main clique plus Chug and Maple, and we're talking in the lunch table. It's like, what is so good about this damn lunch meat? It sucks, it stinks, I don't trust it. They said, yeah, our teacher brings it from her own house, I guess from a farm, quote unquote. We don't know what the hell that's from or what that means. So being like shithead high school kids, they want to go investigate. While they're investigating, they have a school bully. His name's Travis. No one likes Travis. Fuck you, Travis. On to the next thing. I'm just going to mention him here now because he's an asshole. He punches Sal in the face. Larry's ready to kill him. Ash is also ready to kill him. I'm ready to kill him. You at home is probably ready to kill him. Just, we don't like it, Travis. I don't like Travis now because I said the word kill like 5 times. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get demonetized now, so oh well, but well, fuck him. I don't care. Anyway, back to the actual important shit, not that bum. After deciding what to do, how we're gonna get information about, what's in this damn bologna sandwich, we figure out how to devise a plan. Long story short, you sneak around, you take a photo of the lunch lady. She likes birds. You show a picture of a birdie. She's like, oh, thank you. You're so nice. You're so sweet. You're not bullying me for my appearance, which kind of fucking sad for her, but not the point of the game. Actually, I guess it is, considering he wears a prosthetic face. Huh. Maybe I'm the asshole. But she tells you, like, all right, I'll tell you a secret. Your teacher, I can't think of her name, Mrs. Robinson, we'll say, she brings the lunch meat. She brings it from a special place, but that's all I can tell you. So after that, we break into Miss Robinson's class, we go through her drawer, then we find a weird metal hexagon thingy. And then we decided, well, she lives in our apartment, let's go over there and see what's in her apartment. So the gang decides we're gonna do that. Well, I say the gang, but me and Larry does the breaking and entering while Todd is gonna do some reverse bioengineering to figure out what's wrong with the bologna. Also, side note, you can go through their lockers in this episode to get a little bit more about their insight. Sal may or may not be crushing kind of hard on Ashley, and I think my boy was in there because I think Ashley was feeling him back. So another reason why I'm pissed for what happens later in the game. But life, man, life is pain. Also, Todd got a brother on his arm. I did not know Todd was gay at this point, and I did not know he liked, for lack of a better word, niggas. I did not know this. Which, hey man, I'm not judging. You know, he followed the ginger rule. Gingers and blacks love each other for some reason. I had 2 redheaded exes in the past. We just go together. I don't know what to say. That's your bitch, not mine. But despite learning all that about, you know, the gang and them, we go to the Mrs. Robinson's house. After going to Mrs. Robinson's house, after learning all of that, Larry and I decide, okay, let's find out what this lunch meat is. The first thing we notice when we walk in the building in this game is its smell is horrific. It smells just awful. And Sal and Larry goes like, God, I hope whatever that smell is not in the food. He's like, I don't even want to think about that, man. We look around, we go to her living room, nothing. We go to the kitchen, there's a blessed stain. My super ghost boy is starting to freak out. I play it, it is a ghost sheep. And he just goes, ba, 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 that's it. And I'm like, huh, weird. Then we look in the freezer, there's a goat head sever in there. And Larry screamed, ha, I knew it was fucking goat. And he's like, nah, that's too easy because Todd would have said something. Because he's using all the samples he can get a hold of, and he tested it with all the known meat, and there was nothing in there. After all that, and he's like, well, damn, what could it be? We do a puzzle, we go into her bedroom, and then we see a mountain and mountains of dirty diapers, just all full of shit. Then we look further in that room, her husband, who was dead, allegedly, for years, is just on a life machine. He's been dead for so long that a super ghost boy can pick up his soul being tethered. Like he's alive, but he's not really alive. And he asks Sal in his ghost form, please pull that plug, because he's stuck to, I guess, a life machine. He just wants it to end. And you have an option to say yes or no. I hit yes, because, I mean, hey, the game presented you with this. I feel as if a loved one's asking you, hey, I don't want to live like this anymore. Like, God forbid, you know somebody who had a horrible, horrible, horrible accident, and you know in your heart they wouldn't want to be a coma for the rest of their life. Go ahead and just, you know what I mean? Go ahead and just disconnect that machine. That's not me to tell you to do that. And for the love of God, don't do that. I did not tell you to do that for legal reasons. I am not telling you to do that preemptively. That is something you have to sign a waiver for and talk about right now while you're able-bodied. But I do feel in my heart that to honor somebody's wishes, if they want to go, you can't stop them. And Sally pulled a plug and he thanked us before he went onto the other side. Larry goes, well, damn, all these shitty diapers in here. You don't think the baloney? And Sal's like, don't even finish that thought, man. I don't even want to think about that being the possibility. And they both calm themselves down and realize, well, if it was shit, they would have showed up in the DNA of that. So we crossed off all animal meat and we crossed off feces. So what's in this damn lunch meat that got Sal so shook? While they're thinking about it, they hear a banging and a noise at the front door and they're turning keys. Sal and Larry are scared shitless. They have nowhere to hide. They're just stuck in this room. And Larry and Sal goes like, hey man, before it goes bad, I just want you to know I love you, man. You're my best friend. He's like, I love you too. And then while they're bracing for an ass whooping at the very least, or worse, death itself, you can see a lot from their personality, from how they react to it. Like Larry's first instinct is to protect Sal. He's always gonna want to protect Sal. He does that since you first met him. And Sal just held his pigtails and pulled him down because he's just a scared kid, man. Like he's just afraid 24/7. It's like Courage, but somehow darker. But it was just Ash saying, hey guys, I want to help. And they're like, dude, you gave us a fucking heart attack. Ash's like, yeah, I can see that. Don't want to ruin the moment, but did you figure I was in the balloon? He's like, no, not yet. Then there's one more room. We open that last room, and it is probably the darkest shit at this point. It gets worse. The darkest thing these poor kids seen. They open that door. It is a meat grinder for body sizes. The posters of all the missing kids, because throughout the game you see missing posters of people, and Miss Robertson have them all in her room. You see sigils everywhere. A meat locker covered in blood was a combination. We figured out the combination, and we look inside, and we know what the baloney is now. It was human. She has been putting human meat in the baloney. Larry rightfully threw up. Ash is like, we have to call the police. But while they're thinking about that, Sal said, we can't go to the police. It's more of this cult shit we've seen. There's been cult stuff kind of alluded to in episode 1 and 2 through research, and they like, we can't do nothing. This whole town's in on it. It's corrupt. It's crooked. We can't go to nobody. We can't tell anybody about this. And while they're doing that, they said, oh, hey, we need to get out of here. So they left the room, and by leaving the room, Ash said, wait, there's something behind this painting. It's an old chute, which that's where she throws the remains of the bodies down. Ash fell down there like any horror white woman. Ash fell down there like any white woman in a horror media, just getting in the fucking way. Love you, Ash, but what the fuck? And Sal Laren is panicking. He's like, oh God, where do we go? And then apparently at some point, Sal has That's So Raven. At some point, apparently, Sally Face has That's So Raven level-esque future visions, insight thingies. He's like, I know where she went, because she kind of blacked out and spazzed out. And by doing so, he knows where to go. So after learning where to go, he get Todd as fast as he can. He's like, I know we need to go. They go all the way down the basement. They go to an old apartment. They found a back room in said old apartment that's off the map. He opens a secret lever, and they went down. And they found an old ass temple that's underneath the apartments, the church, and I think the school. So they going around, looking around for shit, trying to figure out where Ash went. They went through all this labyrinth, and they see her on a pile of bones, and they're like, yeah, where is this place? Like, I don't know, but we need to leave now. We are in over our heads. I can't do this. This is too much. We are not Scooby-Doo and the gang. We're not the Venture Brothers. We're not the Fantastic Four. We gotta call it quits here. So after that, when they finally get out of there, after the whole gang's reunited, they said, so what do we do? Because the police have covered up for Charlie, because they found out he didn't really do it, but he did. It's a little iffy on that one. They have no idea how far the corruption reaches. They don't know everything. Like, the Holmes family got murdered. No one talks about it. They said they've died in the lake accident, but we talked to the literal ghost saying he murdered everybody, but they're not saying that. And after everything was wrapped up here, we go back to the current time, and Sally said, okay, I told you all the truth. They cover it up. It doesn't matter. Now hold on your end of the bargain. Where's Todd? I should say, before we learn with Todd, there's one thing. While it is very important to Sally, I will almost skip it, but I thought about it. You need to understand the situation of this. I mentioned in this episode, we learned that Ash and Sal kind of have a little crush on each other. Nothing goes from it. They're just really close friends at best, but there might be little feelings there, at least from on Sal's side. After he told the truth, the interviewer said, hey, you need to see this newspaper, and we learned what Sal's being charged for and what he allegedly did. Sally here killed, I want to say at least, Sally here is charged for mass murder, including an entire family. He killed a lot of people. And worst of all, Ashley is going to testify against him. And that hurts his feeling. His best friend, his little crush, is going to start singing on the stand against him. And that crushes him. But besides all that, it's not the worst news Sally's about to hear. Because right after hearing that news, he's like, what happened to Todd? He's like, well, he's stable now, but he don't know what's real from fake. He wants to die when he talks. That's all he says is, I want to die. And he becomes extremely violent when he doesn't get it. He is just a destroyed mess, because he's also unfortunately possessed by the very same red-eyed demon. So to wrap up episode 3, if you're keeping up, Sal has been accused of mass murder. His best friend died in episode 2, or is already dead in the current timeline. Ash doesn't like him, allegedly, at this point. Sally's life has to start over again. Actually, there's no starting over this time. It's just done. He's on death row. He lost his mother as a young child. He lost everything he knew as a teenager. He has nothing to live for. He's done. And the sad part is, we still got 2 more episodes. Whew. Okay. I'm going to mentally flip a coin right now and decide whether or not if I'm going to spoil episode 4 in great detail or just talk about it briefly and move on. Because 4 and 5 is so... I cannot stress to you, episode 4 and 5 is so good that I really don't want to spoil it for you. But at the same time, you did click this video and you understand what's going on here. So I'm going to say it, and we're just going to move past it. Episode 4 starts with the time skips. Sal and Todd got an apartment together, then later Neil moved in with them. Neil, again, is the boyfriend of Todd. Sal's like, oh man, cool, so great to have you here. I can't wait for Larry to move in next week. So everybody's trying to live in a big old group house, which honestly, goals, I see that in this economy. You gotta do what you gotta do. Sal is, after doing all that, he's like, oh man, Ash can come over for the weekend too after she moved to the big city. So everybody's just, grown, living their life. Everything's good. Everything's a good life. There's nothing wrong going on. Everything's fine. Todd left a note saying, hey, go back in my shed and get these things. We learned that we've been researching the cult stuff forever. We're basically like, I guess I made the joke earlier, but they really are moving like Scooby-Doo, but more kind of realistically, I guess. So after learning more and more about the cult stuff, we decided to go on to meet Larry at the apartments. And before we get there, we get a flash forward again to current time. We get the prosecutor ask him, like, the victim's blood was on you and you had the murder weapon. How do you feel about that? He's like, well, it doesn't really sound good for me. Like, Sal has given up. He's tired of trying to convince people. He's done trying to convince people that he's not crazy. He's done trying to convince people that he's innocent. He's just done. All he really cares about is he doesn't want his friends to hate him because that's all he has left, man. Like, fuck, man, this episode is so good. I was doing so well being professional, but it just hurts my heart. It really hurts my fucking chest. Like, he's just a boy. Like, I know he's in his early 20s or mid 20s when he's, on his D-Day, but still, it just doesn't feel right that he has to go through all this. And before Ashley takes a stand, we cut back to the past with Larry and Sal. Larry's like, oh, dude, bro, we should go check out the apartments. And we check out the apartments. Everything's nice. Back to the ghost stuff. We go check on some residents we may have missed. Like the old lady, I didn't really mention them. I was missing Rosenberg. She was kind of weird. I think she might have been a witch or a demon. Really wasn't clear. Kind of vague, but whatever. After that, we talked to every other resident. We see Maple and Chuck got together. They had a daughter named Soda. Adorable. Love Soda. Then we also notice that when we get to my dad's room, because I didn't tell you this, because I skipped this on purpose for the big shocker, Larry's mom and my dad are married. So me and Larry are now legally brothers. We're stepbrothers. So they're now quite literally family. Todd's parents are a bunch of hippies. They turn his room into a pottery, but that's whatever. After catching with everybody, we go back to the treehouse just to catch up again. Like, man, I can't wait for you to move in and we can work on stuff together and just have a great life together. Larry asked Sal, like, hey, dude, can I ask you a serious question real quick? He goes, sure, man, what's up? He's like, you talked to my dad, haven't you? Was a super ghost boy. And you have an option to lie and tell the truth. Now, I had to tell the truth because he's my best friend / brother. I wouldn't lie to my best friend or brother about something this heavy. He clearly wants to know what happened to his father. So Sally told him the truth. He's like, look, dude, bear with me, but your dad was an alien, I'm pretty sure, or something, and he had to go because he got in too deep with the wrong crowd, and he loves you. He really loves you, Larry, but he just didn't want you and your mom to get dragged into it, and it was weird. Larry heard all that shit, and he just goes, dude, you don't have to lie to me, but I appreciate you doing that for me. And Sal's like, I'm not lying. Sal has a very big problem with people not believing him. That's a very common trope in this game. It's like no one believes Sal on what happened to anything. He's just this poor traumatized kid. So after all that in the treehouse, they decide to leave and they're going to check one more time for more ghosts and all that. And while we're checking his apartment, we learned that all the ghosts are nowhere to be found. We can't summon them. We knew they were stuck there, but they're not here no more. That's very strange. It's very weird that no one can be summoned. We went back down to the temple to check more stuff, and it's still abandoned, so nothing's really going on. So everything seems normal. And after that, we part ways, and we tell Larry, I can't wait to see you soon, man. Love you. And he's like, love you too. And that was the end of it. Then we go on our little friend date, regular date with Ash. They have a heart-to-heart, and they ask you, don't you ever get tired of just being so well-reserved, Sally? And he goes, what do you mean? He's like, don't you ever just want to scream? Just let it all out? And Sally sat there and think about it. He's like, yeah, I do. He's like, then scream. Scream with me, Sal. And then him and Ashley had a sweet moment. I guess you can call it sweet. And they just started screaming at the lake. Just let it all out, which is therapeutic. If you live like away from your neighbors or you have a big ass yard, just scream it out if you're frustrated. Don't punch and break nothing. It's just too high, dude. Just yell it out. And they did that. And Sal had a really good day today. He had an amazing day. This day was perfect. He had a date with Ash. He met his little brother. Everything's all good. And then he gets a text message. I'm sorry, dude. Please don't blame yourself. What? Sal, I'm sorry, dude. Please don't blame yourself. What that mean? Yo, I got really anxious. Because that reads like what I think that reads like. Larry? Sorry for what? What are you talking about? It's time for me to go. Larry? Hey, don't do nothing fucking stupid, dude. It's too late. I'll be gone soon. Stop. Larry. Yo, I'm really having a panic attack. Yo, Larry. What the fuck are you about to do? Larry. 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 Larry, pick up this fucking phone. I'm not playing with you. Larry, pick up this fucking phone. I'm not playing with you. Larry, pick up this fucking phone. I'm not playing with you. Larry. This ain't a game. Larry, this isn't a game. The fuck is that on the road? Nah, fuck that. Don't care. Don't care. No, it's just an attempt. He's gonna be fine. Worst case scenario, he's just scared. God sees all. I don't like that. It's just an attempt. Larry. Is he in his room? Larry, where the hell are you? Larry. No. Larry, what did you do? Larry, why? After all that has happened, we see Ash go to the corpse stand and she says, Sally is just hurt. He needs help. I don't think he meant to do it maliciously. He's a good guy. He just needs to be helped and heard. Because even through all that, Ashley still wants the best for us. And after all that, the prosecutor said like, I see. Well, that doesn't really help your case there, Sal. And Sal's like, whatever, it doesn't matter. This whole thing's rigged anyway. Like, he just called them out to their face. Like, it didn't matter. All of it's a sham. I'm gonna sound like a weenie. Like, honestly. I think why this hurts so much. And I love this nigga who I'm about to say this about. I don't even care. Like, that's real life my brother. I was projecting, like, my best friend onto Larry. Because I've known him since over 9. You know what I mean? Like, I mentioned that earlier. Like, that's the same friend. Like, that's really my real life bro, dude. Like, because, like, the stupid shit Larry say and do, I'm like, oh, that's like me and my homie. I'm, like, so real life defeated. Like, holy shit, dude. Wow. Man, like, fuck. I'm like, I don't know if, I'm like doing the real life shit now. Like, I'm trying to see what like, was there any signs that I fuck up? Was it my fault? Like, was I not a good enough friend in the game to notice? Could I? He kept saying something bad was gonna, like, did he get scared? I refuse to believe Larry just popped himself just cuz. No, bro. And then Ashley's about to start snitching. Larry was so fucking sweet, bro. He was so fucking nice. That nigga Sally. Nah, fuck that. I'm still mad. No, I'm pissed. Fuck it. Nah, we're doing it live. That nigga Sally when he asked him, why did you cry when his mask came off? He said, cause you didn't look away. And you want me to think that nigga killed himself? Fuck you. Oh, this game's good, man. Fuck. He is a real ass dude, bro. Fuck that. Oh, I'm like so mad I can't even cry, but I want to, bro. I'm all out of tears. That was his real fucking brother. And then you had the audacity to make them legal brothers and you did that shit? Fuck you, game. Fuck you backwards. Fuck you. Fuck you, bro. This is such a good game. Fuck! Fuck! I'm about, you know what? He gonna get this text right here, and he's probably gonna think I'm gonna boom myself. I'm texting him right now. If you see this, I'm not being dramatic. I don't tell you this enough if you see this video. I'm just gonna text you this randomly at 2 a.m. So I apologize if you think I'm gonna do what Larry just did. I'm not. I don't tell you enough. There. Like, fuck, bro. I don't tell you that enough, bro, because you don't know. Like, I don't think you're gonna do that, but if you did, just know you're stuck with me. Real shit, bro. Fuck. Oh, I dead ass just text that nigga too. I'm not playing. I've known this nigga for almost 20 years. Yeah, no, you ain't going nowhere, buddy. You die, I die. Sorry. I already lost my dad, my cat, and my aunt all in the same like week of each other. You're stuck with me. Ha! You're the only thing I got left. Sorry. I'm gonna read this note. I'm gonna wrap it up here. I guess I'm gonna call it, bro. Sal, I know it's gonna be hard for you to understand. I'm sorry. Please don't blame yourself, and please don't hate me. I was lucky to have you in my life. I couldn't ask for a better brother than you, dude. I know you're gonna do great things. You gotta keep going. Keep fighting the darkness. It's coming closer now. I can hear it whispering in my head. It's getting louder. I just need this to end. I can't take it anymore. I'm not strong like you are. I love you, Sally Face. Always have. See you on the other side. Larry. He was the sweetest man. And you niggas took him from me. He was my best friend. And y'all took him from me. That nigga was my brother. And you took him from me. That's a bet. Like, they brought in a fake therapist that said, oh yeah, he totally killed that last guy. Like, it didn't matter. Sally was playing a losing hand from the start. When we cut back to the present again, after Sal is freaking out after Larry's untimely demise, he tells Todd, like, I can't even find his body. Like, he just disappeared, bro. He's gone. Todd gives him a new device for a guitar to help stop the cult from taking over the apartment, because that's happening right that day. Like, I want you to really understand what is happening to Sal here. And all in one day, his best friend / literal brother, like, I'm tired of dancing around it. Like, he killed himself. Larry fucking killed himself, dude. He's gone. That's how he died from Oliver episode 2. Side note, that's incredibly ballsy of the game to just spoil that he died early, but you don't know why. That's insane. You're thinking maybe the cult got him. You're thinking maybe something else. Nope, that's what it was. The note said he heard the darkness whispering to him, saying it was getting closer and the threat was imminent, and he couldn't take it. He's not strong like Sally, because despite all this shit happening to Sal, he's still here. He's still standing. By the shit that Sal went through by episode 4, most of you watching probably would have gave up. I would have gave up after episode 1. What do you mean my mom just dies? I have to hold that. What do you mean I have night terrors every fucking day and night because of it? What do you mean I get bullied because my face is fucked up from the incident? I can't help that. Like, Sal is a strong person mentally, but doesn't mean that he has to go through it. It's just insane that what this poor kid had to go through. So after the very moment of Larry's death, the cult said, well, it's go time, and they started going. They started taking over the apartment. So, and with a new device with a guitar, which that's how episode 4 opens up. We see Sal in the doorway covered in blood with a guitar. I didn't know bro played a guitar. Yes, you do. He has an amp when he moved in. He always played music. And with the power of Larry from the other side as a ghost to help, and the ghost of Rosenberg telling him how to do it, they just stop the cultists once and for all. And when you get to the bottom floor after you destroy the tower piece by piece, you see Mr. Anderson for once, and he is a goop monster who the cultists had summoned. After you defeat this alleged goop monster, the goop monster, well, not the goop monster, the real Terrence Addison tells you, hey Sal, thank you for doing it. I knew you were special when you first walked in that door, but you have one more task to do, and I understand if you don't want to do it, but it has to be done eventually. He goes, what? He's like, the corruption of the cult has affected everybody at the apartment, and the only way to stop the spread is they die. So you have to kill every single person in the apartment. Been tainted by the dark. But that's everyone in the building. Those are my friends and family. We've cleared the darkness from their souls. We've already saved them. I'm afraid it's too late for them, Sal. Their souls are destroyed beyond repair. If left unchecked, the Sal will seep through the cracks and many more lives will be extinguished. My heart weighs heavy in sorrow for you. I know you will lose everything, just as I had many years ago. I don't think I can do this. Please don't make me do this, Terrence. It is your choice to make. I know it's extraordinary burden to bear, but I also know what you would do is the right thing. Oh, no. No. Everybody? Everybody? Addison is right, Sal. This must be done. I'm so sorry. I wish there was another way. Really? I know I didn't like you, but I don't feel well. Would you help me get in my apartment, Sal, please? Oh. Sally face. Have you seen a little turnaround? We need to talk to him. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hey dude, glad you had to come back. Now I really get this party started. Oh my god. Okay, first of all, how did you... I know he can't really fight back that much, but how did you speed blitz 3 adults? Power scalers. How strong is Sally face to do that? Do I kill Sarah too? Hey Sal, you feeling alright? I think there's something going around. Robert's not here, right? Robert, you're gone, right? No. You can't fucking make me. You can't make me. You can't make... I'm not moving. Oh, I gotta fucking move. It's content, Michael. And soda? Sally face, can I raise your shoulders now? Oh my fucking god, dude. Robert, no! Hey, what's up, my man? You looking worse for wear. Is everything okay? I saved my parents for last, didn't I? Hey, kiddo, there's some leftovers on in the fridge if you're hungry. You know, I may not say this enough, but I'm proud of you, Sal. You've come a long way. I know it hasn't been easy. Looking down, I'm sad by the man you've become, and I think you got a bright future ahead of you. I really do. I love you, buddy. I love you too, Dad. I love you too. Of course it does. Todd, what the Something is wrong. I blacked out in the treehouse and woke up in the temple. They had me tied down. There was something else there. I think it was the demon. They cut me and took some of my blood. There was a loud sound and I passed out again. When I came to, they were gone and I was untied. I don't feel right, Sal. I think I'm dying. So Todd's possessed, so I killed them all for fucking nothing if Todd's alive. And you know, like, Ash saw her best friend get electrocuted on that chair. after finally getting the proof she needed that he was telling the truth. Granted, she was trying to believe the best in everybody, even the cult, but it didn't matter. None of this mattered. Todd's possessed, Larry's dead, Sal just got murdered. It's just Ashley now. And she hates herself because she didn't believe none of them. Like, sure, she was down for the shenanigans and to go snooping, but she never really believed the ghost. And after seeing proof for her own eyes, she realized it was way too late. And all Sal wanted was some damn peace. And he couldn't even get that. He just wanted something nice to happen. That's all Sal wanted, was to feel normal. And this episode, or rather, this review is kind of long, and episode 5 is short. It's really short, so I don't have to say too much, but to sum up episode 5, so I don't feel like I'm just gonna jerk your chain and tell you how it ends. No sappy cutscene, no sappy credits, just thank you for playing, and you go right back to the menu screen after all of that. Now, before I wrap up this video and the Sally face section, you're probably wondering, well, all the loose ends got tied up. We learned about the baloney, we learned about the cult, we learned about why he wears that mask, but what happened to his mom? Well, in episode 5, when you're going around doing stuff in the other world of Sally post-death, you can find these little hexagons around here, and they have a code to them. And if you do the codes, when you go to room 3 in the void, you get the reasoning of why he wears that mask and what happened to his mother. And we find out what it was. Sal and his mom were in the forest on a picnic. Sal's mom told him, like, hey, don't wander off too far now. And he really didn't. And while he was out, he saw a man with a shotgun and a dog's mask. That's where the dog and wolf imagery comes from. And remember, and the cult thought Sal was a child of prophecy, so they did not want him alive. So it is very highly that this wolf man with a shotgun was sent to kill Sal. And when he was ready to take aim with a shotgun, his mom saw that. She got in between him and Sal, and she got shot through a shotgun through the back and hit Sal in the face. If her mom wasn't there, he would have died. And that's what happened to Sal's face and his mother. And I don't think Sal will ever really put two together that the cult's the reason why his mom's dead. So from the very age of like barely a first grader till 28, he never really knew peace. He never had a chance. He never had anything. But the one thing he had, and he's glad that he protected in the very end, was his friends. And I can't overstate enough how I just love that for them. I love that for Sally. I love it for this game. Because it's a nice message. Despite all the dark shit in this game, it's a really nice message. Like, sometimes what keeps you tethered to this world, what keeps you grounded, what keeps you happy, is the ones that you met along the way. It's not money, it's not fame, it's not power. It's just good old-fashioned love. Is that cringy? Yeah. Is it true? Hey, you tell me.